Hey, what's up, Nerdgasm fans? Jerry here, aka Barnacules. Now ask yourself, have you ever wondered what it'd be like to play a game looking through a screen door with cataracts in both eyes?
Yeah!
Did you ever think, man, it'd be cool if I could watch porn on a bus or an airplane without anybody sitting next to me knowing what was going on?
Hell yeah!
Have you ever thought scuba goggles look really cool?
Then I think I got the device for you guys. That's right, I'm finally reviewing the Oculus Rift DK1.
Cool!
God, I look cool.
No, you don't. Marco.
Hello.
Well guys, I've been looking forward to reviewing this for a long time. This is actually the Oculus development kit, also known as the DK1. This is the very first publicly available version of the Oculus. And you can see it comes in this really cool pelican-like case. It's very, very nice. And I actually borrowed it from a friend and coworker by the name of Brian. Thank you, Brian, for loaning it to me because I've been trying to get a hold of one of these for a while. Now, there's a new version that's coming out here soon, the Development Kit 2, which has a higher resolution screen. It's supposed to have better head tracking and it's a more refined unit. But still, I want to review this one so that I can do a compare and contrast with the new one once it becomes available. Now, Brian already said that he'll loan me the DK2, so once he gets it sometime around June, July, I should be able to get a hold of one for review. So stay tuned. Hit that subscribe button. You guys are going to want to see the comparison. Trust me. Alright, so some initial observations about the goggles. First of all, they're actually really, really lightweight. I thought they were going to be heavy. This is my first time ever playing around with the Oculus Rift, and it really surprised me how lightweight it is. And they're still trying to get a lighter weight, so obviously it's going to be comfortable to wear for long periods of time, because if it was heavy, that would drive you absolutely bonkers. Now looking inside here, you have two eye cups, and these are the actual lenses that magnify the screen. If you pull the lenses out, I'll twist one out so you can see here. You can see there's actually just a screen in there. And what the lens does is that's what gives you that distance from the screen so it's not straining your eye, and it gives you that effect of encompassing your entire peripheral vision. Now these things sit ridiculously close to your eyeball. You can literally adjust this thing depending on whether you're nearsighted or farsighted. You can put different lenses in it. And you can adjust it by pulling gently out and pushing it together. You can adjust the distance from the screen so that you get the proper combination between the lens to get as close to your eye and have the clearest focus on the screen for each one of your eyes. You can also turn the dial on the side here to actually get it to a specified width, but I found that if you just gently pull it and retract it, it seems to work just as good. And if somehow I break it during this process, I apologize, Brian. I'm sorry. I'll buy you another one. Now the cord isn't removable, so you need to be careful with this thing because the cord is a fixed length between the dev box and the screen. It's not a replaceable cable, so you do have to keep the dev box kind of close because the cable's only about, I'm going to say 4 to 5 feet long. Now at the end of the day, all the Rift really is it's one LCD screen. This is basically the back of an LCD screen. And the LCD screen is divided into two compartments, and you can't really see with the camera, but if you look down in the eye well there, you can see there's a divider. They actually put a divider across the screen, which even covers more pixels. So you do lose a lot of the pixels of the already low resolution screen. This only has a 1200 by 800 resolution, which is a really strange resolution, but that's all you get. And then you have to divide that between two eyes because the screen is actually sectioned into two separate quadrants. And then the software itself and the driver basically alters the image to work in concert with these lenses in this screen to produce that really nice, clear, visual virtual reality effect that's completely believable. Alright, well let me put the eye cup back in there. I found that the C eye cup, the shallowest eye cup, was the one that worked the best for me. But depending on whether you wear glasses and stuff like that, your mileage may vary. Alright, another thing is the fitment. You basically can adjust these Velcro straps relatively easily, and you just pull it over the top of your head until you get it comfortable. And the straps do tend to go over your ears a little bit on the side, but you can easily put headphones on. For example, here I have a pair of my AKGs. You can see they go over the top, no problem, and then you get that really immersive experience where you have good headphones on and you have your entire vision encompassed with the Rift. Now, a few other quick things to note is if you look here, there's vents at the top all the way around, and it does tend to leak light in. So if you're in a really bright area or a bright room, you do see some light coming in from the side, and it can contaminate the view, especially during dark scenes. But without those vents, you would get so hot so quick you wouldn't be able to stand using this for any prolonged period of time. Alright, well that's the gist of it. Let's get it set up and try it out. Okay, once you have your Rift connected and you have the USB cable connected to your computer and you have the HDMI or DVI cable connected to your computer, you have to go into display settings and you basically want to duplicate one of your displays. Now I have to note, if you have iFinity or NVIDIA Surround, you need to disable that first. It will not allow you to duplicate and save the settings when you have NVIDIA Surround or iFinity enabled. I had to find that out the hard way. But once you do that, you can see I have my screen set up. I have 1, 2, and 3. This screen, and this screen are all set up to be their own independent screens. Then I have this screen. You can see the taskbar is a little bit bigger over here. That's the screen that I have duplicated with the Rift right now. So this screen is displaying exactly what's on the Rift just by going into screen resolution settings and configuring that. And you can see if I hold the Rift up right here and you look down inside, you can see the place where there isn't an eyepiece or a lens, and you can see the screen clearly back in there displaying half of the Barnacules Nerdgasm logo. And it's basically duplicating exactly what's on this screen over here at 1280 by 800. So now that it's all hooked up, now we just got to handle the software side of things. Okay, so the next thing you need is you need a driver for the Oculus Rift, and there's several drivers. There's one that's included with the Oculus SDK, and there's also one called Vireio Perception, which is an open source driver that allows it to work with more games. Some of them like Half-Life 2 and Portal and stuff like that. So I opted to go with this because I heard a lot of good feedback. And all you do is you just download this. It's an open source application. There's a perception.exe. You just double click and run it and you get this box that pops up. And all you have to select is Oculus Rift from the top and Oculus Track from the bottom. And that just tells it to use the Oculus tracking mechanism for your head tracking and use the Oculus Rift for the actual display. And it's really cool software. It works great with iRacing. That's one of the reasons I use it. And we're going to use iRacing as our demo app for reviewing the Oculus Rift.
Yeah, I thought you guys might like that. Racing fans, God, they'd love that iRacing.
Alright guys, well we got the software loaded. Now all that's left to do is put this thing on and try it out. Alright, so I have the Vireio Perception open source driver running. You can see I have the world demo running right here, and I'm actually holding the goggles. And you can see as I move the goggles, it moves. And I have to tell you, a lot of people complained about lag, saying that the motion on this lags. There is no lag, at least on my system. You can see watching this video. Watch how I'm moving this headset. And just looking around. And look at the screen, how it moves with the motion of the headset. I'm curious to see how it picks up on video, but to my eyes, it looks like it's truly one-to-one. Now, I have a Track IR5, which is an incredibly good optical head tracker, and it has noticeable lag. I couldn't notice the lag on this, so I was infinitely impressed with that. Okay, let's go ahead and put it on. Alright, so over here on the screen, guys, you're seeing what the driver's basically distorting the image so that these lenses that I have in here, what they're picking up off the screen, they can basically make it map to my whole peripheral vision. Now, everybody I talked to said that the Rift fills your whole peripheral vision, which actually isn't true. There is a clear defined dark tunnel that you can see. Even when you push the Rift really close to your face, you can see an edge, but you don't notice it. After you look around and you start playing with it a little bit, you simply do not notice it because you're so fixated on things. But you can look over here, you can see I turn my head really, really fast. The Rift actually stays on really well. I'm looking up here, there's a chandelier up here, looking over there, there's a staircase. Everything's very, very 3D. I feel like I can reach out and touch it. But like I said during the intro, I mean, no joke, there is a huge screen door effect. The pixels are gigantic. And if you look off in the distance, anything that's virtually, let's say, 60 to 100 feet out, it's blurry. You can't make out any detail on it or anything. You have to be really, really close. But the one thing I did notice is when you move your head around and everything, it feels very, very natural. There's a little bit of a blur effect that you see because of the screen, but I didn't experience any of the sickness that people were talking about. Like, I can look down at the floor down here, you can see the checkered floor, and look up there at the wall. From my point of view, this is the most realistic 3D experience I've ever had, because your brain is convinced that when you're looking around that there's depth. Your brain is completely believing it, which is just crazy, guys. I feel like I can just walk over there and walk up those steps. I feel like I know exactly how far it is to reach to the floor. And it messes with your brain, guys. Oh my God. Like, I just reached out and touched something that freaked me the hell out because I'm like reaching out with my arm and I hit something that I didn't see in my field of view. So, definitely the most realistic. The head tracking with the VR is amazing, but the image quality simply sucks. What you see on the screen over here is very, very high resolution, but when you're looking through here, it's very screen doory, it's very blurry off in the distance, and where it is sharp up close, it's very, very blocky. You can see each individual pixel, because you got to think about it. If it's only a 1200 by 800 screen, each eye is only getting half of that, so it's more like 600 by 800. And then that 600 by 800, you're only looking at a small portion of that when you calibrate it. Your eye's not taking in the whole thing, because remember, it's filling your whole field of view. So once you take that into account, the experience isn't very good if you wanted to actually play a game. But as far as just being immersed in it, it is a hell of a technical demo. I have to say that I never thought the 3D effect would be this good. I mean, I genuinely feel like everything that's in my field of view that I can see out here, that you can see on the screen, like I'm looking at a bench right now, looking up the stairs, looking at the chandelier, looking out a window. I don't see any leg. When I spin my head, I'm looking at exactly what I want to look at. Like if I want to snap my head and look at something I've seen before, like the bench. See, that scared the shit out of me when I touched something. So there's a bench and there's a chair. Now, naturally, if I just turn my head, it's like chair. See, I can walk around and be like bench. Everything's exactly where it should be. You know, there's a candle there and a candle there. So it's like bench, candle, candle. You know, I can look right at it. I don't have to track around. It's exactly where my brain, you know, tells me it used to be. I don't feel like there's any drift either. So, absolutely, the head tracking technology is amazing. I've never experienced anything like it. The Track IR is a piece of garbage compared to this. And all the people that are complaining about it being laggy, not on my system. And you can see it tracks around the rotation and everything. And I mean, it's very, very quick stop. All right, so the world demo is pretty cool, but let's go ahead and try it out with iRacing. All right, guys, well, I've got the Cadillac CTS race car here at Lime Rock in iRacing. And you can see I can pick up the headset. I already have it calibrated for my front view out the windshield. You can see looking around there. And you might want to watch this full screen at 1080p so that you can see what's going on, but I wanted you guys to be able to see my head and my control inputs while I was playing the game. And you can see that all it's really doing is the software and the driver is just creating a stereoscopic image, and it's warping that image so that the little eye cups can magnify that properly and display it to your eye, and it gives me the effect when I'm looking in the game. Everything's perfectly 3D, everything's flat, and everything is in focus. But again, only stuff that's close to me. To give you an idea of how bad the resolution is, you see like where it says my car's in neutral and I've got my gauges, I can't even read the gauges in the car. There's just not enough resolution. I can see that I'm in neutral. Okay, so I can see right now. So where I'm sitting right now, I can see my arms in the game, and it's actually such a convincing effect that I actually feel like those are my arms on a wheel in the game. Hopefully you guys can see that over there, but I can look around, I can look down there, I got my fire extinguisher down there, my boxes and my electronics, I've got like a water jug thing down here. I can even look out the back of my car, I can look out the back window over there, I can look up and see my rearview mirror, both in-game. I'm like pointing at stuff like you guys can see me pointing at it. But it's a completely believable effect. I can look around, I've got my mirror over there, I can see all my bars and my roll cage, and it's completely convincing. But because the resolution is so low, just looking at the green cone out there, it's hard. So let's go ahead and put it into gear. So that's first gear. See, let's go ahead and pull out. The depth perception is fantastic. Even though you can't see a great distance and there's some blur to it, it definitely helps you see when you're getting close to stuff. I'm all trying to use the stick. This is a paddle shift only car. So since I don't have that long distance viewing, I have to kind of, you know, it feels like I literally am like an old man with cataracts here. So, but I can turn my head, you can see into the turns. Oh, going off a little. Ooh-hoo-hoo-hoo. Typical Jerry driving. But I can look out my window. You can see I can do this thing where I can look where I'm going. Like I can look out my window and I can keep track in the same location very, very easily. It's a very, very natural feeling. It's just that resolution is what kills it. I can tell you right now, if this was 4K, I'd seriously, if this is 4K, they fixed the blur problem, I'd pay $5,000 for something like this. I really would. And if they got rid of that bad screen door. Alright, so let's get serious here. I'm chasing my ghost. I feel like there's no lag though, even on the inputs and everything. It's such a low resolution, this computer is like way overpowered for this. Whoa, see? I couldn't see the corner coming up, guys. Ooh! And when you wreck, I still don't get used to that. It actually, you do feel like you're hitting something. Your brain is convinced of it. Alright, let's go reset our car.
Your car has too much damage. We've got to fix it.
Yeah, it's alright, Earnhardt. Let's do this. Alright. Let's pull out here again, do it again. You also can recover your car a lot easier because you can look into the spin. So like when you're losing the car, you know, you can't do that with the screen. I can actually look into my spin out the side window. Not a very good example of how to recover it. But it is a neat sensation looking out and seeing the distance. You guys have to try this. I can tell you right now, I've watched a lot of Oculus Rift demos on YouTube, and the explanations don't do it justice. You have to experience this yourself. If you get over the fact that the resolution just sucks and it looks like you're looking for a screen door, I mean, I can literally see the space between every single pixel. It almost looks like you're looking at like one of those jumbotrons up close, like at a ballpark, where you can see like each pixel is like an LED, a giant LED. That's exactly what it feels like. But the sensation of motion, when I turn my head and everything stays in a fixed position in my view, that is cool. See, I missed that corner again because I just can't see it. But honestly, you know, I can look down at my dashboard, I can see my legs, I can see the wheel, I can see the depth of the steering wheel to the dash, I can see the depth to the windshield, I can see the depth. It's very, very, very natural. And you can see I just look around my car, you know, there's the starter button there, there's my brake right there. This is just, it is cool. And to let you guys know, I mean, I played, a lot of people say that they get sick doing this, but I played it for over an hour with Jay's 2 cents the other day. And it actually, I felt fine afterwards. I didn't feel sick at all. I didn't feel queasy. It might just be different people handle it better, but overall it was a good experience. But I found that the most uncomfortable thing is just the resolution and the blur. When things are moving quick on the screen, you get this really bad blur. But I'll tell you right now, guys, if this was 4K, and they solved that blur problem, oh my god, this would be just revolutionary. Like, honestly, I'd probably code with this thing. There we go, let's see if we can figure out that corner. I'm gonna look for the little slow, there we go. Looking for the little slow down things. There we go, come on in. Come on, left foot brake, oh, and I'm in the dirt. Woo! Oh man, I'm actually getting sweaty because it's so hot in here. I had to turn the AC off. But you guys can see, as I'm racing, I mean, the tracking is awesome. It tracks even like pitch and yaw. You can look out the back window of the car and see stuff that you didn't see before. And it genuinely does work good. It's just the resolution is what kills it. The resolution and the blur effect. The head tracking, awesome. Comfort, awesome. It can get a little hot if you're not in a cool environment. But realistically, guys, it's just that resolution. I can't explain it to you guys, but it's not playable. You wouldn't want to play a game with this. You really wouldn't. I don't enjoy playing iRacing with it. It's a neat sensation. It's fun for like 5 minutes to be like, wow, I can really look around and this feels like I'm in a 3D world. It feels genuine, but you just can't see enough to actually do anything. So they fixed that resolution. It's going to be a winner. Guaranteed it's going to be a winner. So I can't wait to try the DK2. Alright, I really want to try to give you guys a unique view. So here I've taken the lens caps out so you can actually see inside of the Rift. You can see the divided screen. Hopefully that's a cool angle. But you can see as I move it around and rotate it, the screen, you know, changes. Like I can look down, there's the score, I can look up, and you can see how it moves with the screen. So hopefully this will show the lag a little bit better between the movements. I think it's pretty damn good though, to be honest. And the eye cups easily go in. You just put them into place and rotate them into the socket. And then once they're in, you can't really see because it's all distorted now to the camera. So, you know, it's of course you're not going to be able to see what I see through this thing. There's no way for me to simulate that. But you can see that there is light coming through. And these lenses are what give you that all-encompassing like effect. So one other thing that I should mention is that there is a configuration utility. I'm looking at the test right now for that configuration utility where I can kind of look around this room, and there's a car right there, and I've got this door out in front of me to make sure your settings are right. But what it does is it allows you to calibrate it. You can actually go in and calibrate it so that you can pick where the edge of your visual range is inside of the world, and you can also select which eye cups you have on and the distance between your eyes and all that stuff to give you the optimal preference. Now, just to let you guys know, I did all that before I actually did the iRacing demo, so everything's as good as it can get. And in this demo, it actually looks pretty good. Like the way that they did this, this demo with no shading, no anti-aliasing and stuff like that, it works a lot better than it does in iRacing. Like the car here, I can almost make out the emblem. It looks like it's a Volkswagen. You know, the guy here, I can see all the features on his face. I can see his eyes and his nose and his mouth and all that. And so in the room looks relatively good and sharp even at a distance. But this is an optimal demo designed for this low resolution. In a real game, it just doesn't work. We need way more resolution for it. But in a nutshell, guys, my review is, I think it's badass. I think the technology is amazing. This is by and far the best virtual reality experience I've ever seen in my entire life. And it feels natural. The weight doesn't bother me on my face. The head tracking seems good. The biggest problem is it just looks like you're looking through, you know, a thick screen door on your house. And it looks like the pixel resolution, I mean, the pixels are big. I mean, I can count them. I mean, that's how big they are. So realistically, it needs more resolution. Now, the DK2, or I don't even think it's called the DK2, it's something else. But the second version of this is coming out, and it's already on pre-order. And they've fixed a massive amount of things on it. It's supposed to have a higher quality screen. It's supposed to be 1080p instead of 1200 by 800, so you get more resolution. The panel's supposed to not have as much blur when you're moving around because it's full off and on pixels instead of just transitioning colors. So it's supposed to be a lot better all around. But I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be surprised if 1080p really still makes this playable. I really don't think even with 1080p it's going to be enough. I think something like this is going to need 1440p or 4K. But after seeing the demo and seeing where they're going at with the second version, where they're using camera tracking and the magnetic tracking together to reduce the latency even more, the direction they're going is awesome. And I think the end result is going to be amazing. But now that I finally got my hands on one, guys, and I got to play with it, I now kind of understand why Oculus has taken so long to go to market. I was really giving them a hard time. I was like, come on, just ship this, man. We want it. But there's some technical problems that just have to be worked through, and the biggest one is the resolution, obviously. I mean, unless they can get the resolution up to something where it's sharp enough that I can actually read things at a distance and I can make out my teammates. Because the problem is, if I played a first-person shooter using this, unless my guy was standing 4 feet away from me in the game, I wouldn't be able to tell if he was an enemy or not. That's how bad it is and how blurry and how bad it is. I don't even know how to really put it a different way, guys. It's just bad. So it's a cool experience, but it's just not there for gaming. So if you guys get a chance to use one, by all means do. But realistically, the DK1, it's obviously just a development kit. It's not really practical for actually playing through a game. It's not practical for, you know, long-term testing or actually trying to turn a good score. You're just not going to. So guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video. I think it's cool. I thank my friend Brian again for giving me this awesome experience to basically try this out. I did like how easy it was to set up. I like the fitment on it. There's a whole lot to like here, but the two things that just kill it dead are the resolution and the blur, for me, personally. A lot of people say that it's the sickness from the head tracking lag, but honestly, guys, I don't see enough lag to even notice looking around. Maybe you guys will. Once the video is rendered, maybe I'll be able to see the lag in the video doing the compare and contrast, but who knows. But anyways, guys, if you're not already subscribed to me, hit that subscribe button. I do lots of cool videos like this, technology and stuff, and I've got my crazy setup here, and I do 3D printing, and I'm all over the map, guys. I'll show you how to put brake pads on your car if you want to. So hit that subscribe button, and also come on over and follow me on Twitter and tweet me. I interact so much on the social networking, so if you guys want to come over and shoot me a tweet, chances are you'll get a response. So anyways, guys, I'm going to wrap this video up because I think it's about midnight right now, and I got to go to sleep. Man, this room is cool. It's like the holodeck. Hey. Oh, hey, what's up, sir? Hey, where's your wiener? I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, favorite, and subscribe. It helps me a bunch. Also, come follow me on Facebook and Twitter. I love interacting with you guys.